What's up, everybody, and welcome into the Backliners podcast. Aggro and Barracuda, as per usual. This week, we are joined by none other than Scream, aka Varizio1, aka Lucas Spracklin. What was the other name that you had a while ago? You name changed to a third name, didn't you?
Yeah, let's just go over the list. We had Varizio initially, and then we went to Shattered. That one we could forget. That one we could forget. But then I went back to Varizio 1, and then I had this great idea to do Variz Machine, right? Because I had Salt Machine on my team at the time, and nobody else wanted to change their name to have Machine in it for some reason. It was weird. Like we could have had, we could have had Polar Bear Machine, we could have had P-Cat Machine, or whatever it was, right? Anyways, and then where we are now. Boom.
That would have been big, dude. Polar Bear Machine is just good.
It would have been good.
I don't think there's any questioning that. I'm not really sold on P-Cat Machine or Venen Machine. I don't know, like, what it would have...
No, it was Crazy Machine, because his name was Crazy Toaster.
Machine. Oh, no.
Yeah.
No.
Have you
love Crazy Toaster.
Maybe you try and bring the era of Crazy Toaster back, Barry?
I don't think he will. I don't think he will.
You think he's
go
scared?
Back to that route. Yeah, I mean, like, misspelling venue is so much cooler than Crazy Toaster, you know. Like,
wait, you're telling me that's how he got his name?
Yeah, now that I'm realizing it, both of his names are just so bad.
Wait, you're telling me that Ven was trying to spell venue and got Venenu, and that's how he decided on his name.
I swear it's like a French name.
That's what he told me.
Or it's in Latin or something.
Wasn't?
Oh yeah, he would do that. He would lie to me and tell you the truth.
Someone said something. I remember someone's name was like, yeah, it's Latin for something, and it was like, it wasn't good. I know. Like rapio, I believe that's Latin for to seize, like to grab. I took Latin in high school because I had friends, and I was cool.
I took Latin in high school.
Did you really, Barry? Yeah. Oh, Vedium. That's right. Thank you, Percy. Good call. He said that was Latin or something like that. Good memory.
I want to say like there was like a word in Latin. I can't remember if it was vicio or not, but it was like to fart softly, and I always laughed at that. That's like the only word that I remember from Latin class.
That's good stuff. Yeah, my Latin teachers were very cool, and we actually like still talk to them a little bit because my wife also took Latin because again we were cool, we had friends,
nice.
like all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, really cool.
Latin, cool language though. I'm not trolling about that. Anyways, we should probably talk about like what's going on around the SPL because there's been a roster change, which is obviously very big news. The Jade Dragons have decided to drop Sam for Soccer in the jungle, and we are joined by Scream, not just because he's obviously the world's biggest fan of the podcast and begs me all the time to come on, but also because he is going to be the new jungler for the Jade Dragons. So Scream, give me the timeline of last week from your perspective of how it all went down.
It didn't take very long. Mike messaged me Thursday night, I think. And he was like, hey, I don't know if word spread yet, because usually the SPL, they're pretty like quick to like catch on to roster changes between teams. And he was like, we're gonna be moving forward without Sam, and we were just wondering if you had any interest. And I talked to Mike later that night because I was in the middle of something, and I basically just said, yeah, I'm probably interested, but I didn't really want to do anything super crazy before the weekend, and I kind of wanted to play out the games, maybe get like a few scrims with the Dragons in before I made a decision. But that basically did not end up happening like that at all. So
no games on the weekend or anything like that. What did you have to like? Well, I guess before we get into your end of it too much, we should go a little bit more chronologically and maybe get our opinions, Barry, here, and yours if you want to give it, Scream, on the decision in general for the Dragons to part ways with Sam. What was your reaction when you heard that news, Barry?
Initially, I thought, okay, it's gonna sound really weird with Scream here, but I thought it was like, it's no offense to Scream. Initially I thought it was like a good decision, but the more I think about it, I just think it's like a gut like reaction.
Mm,
Um, because I think that they had a really strong like spring split. I mean, this is all like external, obviously. I
sure.
think they had an insanely good spring split, and then kind of like sputtered off in summer. And I think the meta didn't really like. In spring, obviously, Pagan was playing like assassins and men. He was soloing everyone. He was like just hyper carry machine, and I think the meta obviously moved away from that, and they tried to do a lot of things, like people swapping a lot of roles and playing a lot of different things in each role in scrims, and obviously in SPL as well. And I think that kind of like chalks your practice a bit and kind of makes you a bit worse. Obviously, if
Mm-hmm.
it does work, it's going to look amazing. But if you spend a whole week practicing that and then you go to SPL and it doesn't work, in my opinion, you wasted a whole week of practice of people going in whatever role playing whatever god.
Sure.
Um, so I think that I'm not going to say that like Sam was scapegoated. Obviously, I'm external. I don't know all the team like inner workings and everything. Um, but what I said on stream was I think that dragons are going to have an insanely strong honeymoon period. Like
Mm-hmm.
crazy honeymoon period. I think they will pop off, and then I think they will like teeter off a lot going into fall split and worlds.
Mm. Yeah, I think obviously we don't know for sure why this decision was made and made right now. I think it's pretty important for us to keep in mind that it's possible that Sam was simply paying too much for his wireless service by not using Mint Mobile. Maybe they heard that he was paying more than just $15 a month for premium wireless service, which is obviously unacceptable. Scream, I don't know if you know this about the Dragons, but they take saving on their mobile plans incredibly seriously. So you better get on this, Scream. Write this down here, Scream. All you have to do is head on over to mintmobile.com/backliners because you can cut your wireless bill to $15 a month there with Mint Mobile because they don't have the middleman. They don't got to worry about putting up these brick and mortar stores, all that kind of stuff. And you're probably thinking that you got to change your phone number. You're going to lose your phone, lose all your contacts. Well, you're wrong and you're dumb if you think those things because it's neither of those things. You get to, nope, they're dumb, Barra.
Oh, okay.
It's time we just come out and said it, okay? Don't have to change your phone. You get to keep your same phone. You get to keep all of your existing contacts, all that kind of stuff. And again, mintmobile.com/backliners is the place to go. Barra, you luckily have been able to stay on your team.
Luckily.
And it's probably because you and Destiny are Mint Mobile users.
Yeah, and obviously the rest of my team, they love Mint Mobile. All of them use it, all the time. They all swapped over. They were all so convinced by a first spiel that they all swapped over immediately. I mean,
What
I
are we
might
still
get
doing here, then, Well, we're starting to, everyone should be on it then.
Yeah, well, I think that's what we're doing. Like,
yeah, okay.
We're taking over the SPL one sign up at a time.
One sign up at a time.
And yeah, I mean, on a serious note, it's the easiest thing you can do. They literally ship it to your door. As Agro said, you get to keep literally your phone. You get to keep your number, contacts, everything. It takes 3 minutes to swap over, and you save a ton of money. It's literally all pluses.
To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and get the plan shipped straight to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/backliners. That's mintmobile.com/backliners. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/backliners. Okay, now that I'm done memeing. Oh, go ahead, Barry.
Real quick, I will say that was one of your best transitions.
Thank you very much.
That was...
that
was very clean.
Gotta keep you on your toes. Everyone's worried about them all the time. No, I think in all honesty, I don't disagree, Barra, on some of the things that you said. I think that the thing that surprised me most about this change was the timing of it.
Okay.
A few weeks before Masters, I think that, again, all of this from an outside perspective, I would assume that a lot of players want to see how they do at Masters before they decide what they want to do with their Phase 3. And it makes me feel like something, it came to a head or whatever you want to say. It's just kind of an inopportune moment. But for a team that is as full of veterans as the Dragons are, obviously Pagon's a rookie. This is not the type of move that veteran teams typically make. So that definitely surprised me, but at the same time, Masters is a good opportunity for your new jungler to get acquainted and get a lot of games underneath their belt. That's a lot of games that you get to play. It's a lot of best of fives potentially that you get to play. I think there's best of fives in that format. I actually haven't looked, to be honest. So while it is weird in that sense, it's also an advantage in that you don't have to stress about your Masters placing a whole lot. You can just use it as really good focused practice time that you would have missed out on if you had just waited until after Masters. But that's really the big thing for me. I mean, I've talked a lot about on this podcast about how I feel about roster changes. I think they are a necessary evil. It's no secret that I'm friends with Sam and that I'm friends with Mike and a lot of players around the league. So, it never feels good to see one of your friends lose their job. But I think no one thinks that Sam is incapable of performing at a high level again. Or that he isn't performing at an incredibly high level right now. Like, it's not like anyone thinks that he's washed and that he needs to go back and do a lot of things. I think it's pretty clear to most fans that this is just a personality clash or a playstyle clash that ended up coming to fruition. So I think that this is, if you don't think that you can win, you got to make a change. And I think that it probably just caught a lot of people off guard that the Dragons thought they couldn't win with their current situation. But at the end of the day, obviously if they hadn't announced last week or anything like that, we would have spent this whole show talking about their potential options. I think both of us would have put Scream at the very top of this list. Scream, you played with Mike and Max season 4 when they won Worlds and just have a lot of synergy with those guys. I mean, I know it's probably only been a couple days so far, but how long? How much do you think you have changed over the last 5? Well, I guess you played together after that as well, but over the last few years, and how much do you think your dynamic has shifted with those two guys in particular, your former teammates?
The main thing I think is that we're all just older than we were. When we played together back on United, we were all basically everybody was 18, 19 area. I was even younger. I was 17. The only person who was an adult kind of at that time was Mike. And I think we had a lot of issues because we didn't really know how to handle or communicate with each other. We always cited the team was kind of toxic, but I think it was more so just because we didn't really understand how to not make it that way. So I think maturity level is going to be way better this time around. And yeah, I don't know. I just think I've kind of honed in on my playstyle. I think, I've very much so developed a playstyle where I want to be the main focus of attention on whatever team I'm on. And I think it's obvious in how my teams have played or how they will play in a way. And I just think that I've kind of been excelling at it. So I don't know. I think my voice on the team will be a big part of the team, basically.
Yeah, I think that there's no team in the world that would that you would join that you wouldn't have a big voice for. How I don't know. That's kind of an awkward question to ask. It's not. I swear, it's not like a gotcha sort of thing or trying to get you to say a clip worthy thing. But was it an instant decision that yeah, you were interested, or was it something that it took you some time to decide?
Well, at the beginning of the year, during the off season, I know that they contacted me, and I'm pretty sure Mike said this. On stream, but I was gonna join their team because a few things happened with the Scarabs where they didn't want to play with Sod again, particularly just for not because of player skill issue or anything, but just a few things they didn't like. You have gripes with your teammates, every team has it.
Right.
And I didn't think we were gonna get a solo laner that I thought would be good enough to help us win. But then Scary messaged me like after I told the dragons I would play with them, and then I kind of went back on I kind of took it back from the dragons, and then I ended up on the bugs. And I was really like, I really enjoyed my time on the bugs. Last year was great. And this year, you know, game-wise, we didn't win a lot, but it was still like one of the better teams I've been on. Morale-wise, generally, like I enjoyed my time. But I think that I think I just needed like a change of scenery, kind of like we haven't been winning a ton, but it's like it's there. But I would still like for it to be a little bit more consistent in a way.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that anyone would argue otherwise that this is like this. I think that this is definitely a better opportunity for you to win Worlds this year, based on the way that these two teams have played, independent of their junglers. I don't think that there's any argument against that. But that's not to say that the Scarabs don't have that type of potential. I mean, we don't know their choice in jungle yet. You know, obviously Sam being a free agent seems like a very logical one. And Sam says he wants to play, so I imagine that that's a discussion that they are having. They played with Oath this weekend. Oath did not look particularly good, but I don't put that on him at all. I mean, jumping into the SPL on a new team as a jungler, especially, like that's an impossible situation.
Yeah, I watched that said, and like I felt bad for Oath because I don't know if he intentionally shared those solo lane minions or if he accidentally shared them, but Scary like didn't hit two, and then they just like just got so buck wild fed on that Cabrakan game that it was just like it was just done. And then Oath like lost his whole solo side jungle, couldn't go to duo either, and it's just like that's like worst case scenario if you're like showing yourself as like a potential spot for the team. Like as a pro player, I don't think that game was really around him. I think it was just like, oh, unlucky, the cab with Bancrofts got fed, now we all die, like cool. Yeah, I hope they're not like too harsh on him, but I mean, again, from the outside in, I think Sam is the better option for them. Also, I don't think does Oath want to play for them, or is he sticking with his team? Or
I don't know. I haven't talked to him about it, so I can't say for sure. But I mean, I think that Oath is certainly a player that is SPL talent level. Talent isn't everything that goes into it, so you know, I think that it isn't a guaranteed slam dunk all the time. But I think if the Scarabs offered him the spot and he wanted it, I don't think that would be crazy. But it would surprise me if they picked him over Sam. Scream, I don't know I don't know why I'm like kind of owning you with all these questions. Thanks for coming on the podcast.
It's fine.
What do you think the Scarabs like? What do you think is important for the Scarabs to have in a jungler for them to be successful?
I mean, it's hard to tell because I think I warped a decent amount of how the team plays. Like, you know, I'm like, I would say I'm like a warping player. Like, I warp the game no matter what game I'm in, kind of. So I don't really have like a great idea. They played with layers, obviously, before they kicked him, back in season last year, basically. And you know, it was different. Like, the game wasn't really like focused around him. So I don't know. I think maybe they just need like a talented player to come in, and maybe they could put some of their ideals into him, like, you know, kind of like mold him around. Or maybe if Sam comes in, I think maybe Sam and them could have discussions, and I think they could figure out a way to play the game, obviously. But I just think maybe they need like a player to like, just to like maybe like another guy, like that guy. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense.
like a hypercarry or like a
hypercarry, no, kind of like, I don't know, just like I'd say role player, but jungle's like not role play. Like you have a divine style basically a lot of the time, and I think they need to be more on the carry end, in my opinion, than like the supportive end, just given how the team works, in my opinion. But I think a more carry type player would be good for them.
Do you think Stu, or sorry, I just read Stu's name in chat. Do you think Sam or Oath fits that type of archetype better?
I think both fit it. I mean, Sam, you know, a lot of people think of Sam as like this like assassin player. Like he loves playing Hunbots, he loves playing Thor, and he loves getting to late game and carrying team fights. You know, he kind of that's what a lot of people think he's really good at. But I think Oath is like perhaps maybe slightly more well-rounded than Sam is. In that aspect. I think Sam is like really good. But I think Oath might be able to like fit or like adapt slightly better than Sam will.
Yeah, I think that also like having no, you know, coming in without SPL experience, you're kind of like you don't have these preconceived notions of what you should be doing, and that can be really freeing for a player and for a team.
They're also very moldable if they don't already have like habits set in them for like the fresh players. I think they have enough like veteranship on that team to go either way. Obviously, it would be shocking if Sam's not on a team, but yeah, the more you guys talk about it, I think I changed my mind on Oath a bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they're gonna have a good jungler either way. I think from the outside, Sam's veteranship is important, even though, you know, the Scarabs don't have any rookies. Just having someone there like Scream, who has won a world championship, knows what it takes, knows what the environment needs to be like, all that kind of stuff. I think that is pretty important. But again, I'm pretty biased. As I said, you know, it's no secret that I'm pretty close with Sam. So that's I'd be surprised if they don't go that direction. But we have to just kind of wait and see. Scream, you said something earlier that I wanted to get back to. You were talking about how you typically, you know, any team you're on is going to warp around your play style, and already the Dragons have this play style that is so unconventional in comparison to every other team in the league. How do you know? Obviously, not asking you to give away your strategy or anything like that, but how do you think you fit into a dynamic as fluid as how the Jade Dragons have been playing recently?
You just mean like all the rule swapping and stuff, right?
Yeah, like, I mean, they're willing to do all these different things. Like, does that like type of idea excite you for what type of potential you could bring to that?
It's interesting. I don't know if I'm particularly like super on board with it because
Sure.
I think, you know, we could just play our standard roles and we'd get plenty of wins. You know, but I don't think it's the worst thing ever. Like they have ideas for it and like I've talked to them about it, but it's like I kind of just think like, you know, you put Pagon in mid, you let him do what he wants to do kinda. I'll work around him, I'll figure out what I want to do, and then you know, you have Panda on a Hunter and you get him to late game, and I feel like the game should just be kind of easy in my opinion.
Yeah, I think that it is, as much as I like what the Jade Dragons have been doing and think it has had its really good spots, there's certainly such a thing as getting too cute with it, right?
Yeah, for
and
sure.
that's a tough line to walk.
Especially in Smite, dude. It's so weird. You want to be like the meta followers, but you also want to be like one step ahead of the meta, and then it's like, how far ahead of the meta do we actually want to be? Like,
right.
And then you have like, you know, there's a rat in the duo lane, and you're like,
hey, if someone's picking the rat on the Dragons,
they did win that game, I'm pretty sure. So
it's probably going to Scream, though. I mean, that's a signature pick back in the day.
True.
Yeah, I had to play it to take it away from Mask every game, otherwise we would lose.
Oh yeah.
Mask rat. What are the other like we instantly lost player god combinations? I don't know if any are as like clean in my head as like mascot rat. The game is over. We can't win anymore.
Baskin loaded into the game.
Yep. At all. Yep.
Baskin Morgan, in my opinion, I think that's like up there.
That's up there. Baskin Raijin as well, I think, is up there.
I think Paul Raijin beats out Baskin Raijin.
That's a good one.
I think, yeah, whenever he was like able to buy Mantle and still one-shot everyone, that was like Paul's Raijin peak.
Is Raijin good,
Yeah.
guys?
Raijin was so balanced back then. He was great.
Right, dude.
He was great.
Isn't it so funny how anytime Raijin gets even... I was literally like talking about this with someone this weekend. Like, isn't it funny how Raijin can be unplayable? Just like total dumpster tier. No pro ever touches him. You never see him in a ranked game. He'll get the smallest little buff and instantly top pick top ban in SPL.
Yep.
Instantly.
He's a polarizing character for sure.
Yeah, he definitely is. Sino Naja, chat's kind of going crazy. I mean, Scream Bastet, of course, we got to say it. He's here. I mean, that's just the way. That's just the way it is.
I mean.
Oh yeah, 100%.
That's definitely up there. Ronnie Emoja is a good one. Sino Naja, those are both really good.
I will say I do think Scream's playstyle fits dragons. I think dragons have kind of lost their identity a bit going forward, and I think Scream will kind of bring them back to their unfortunate identity to play against, where they kind of just run at you over and over again and
get the game over with quick.
Yeah, one way or the other. I mean, we've all seen the stats on Twitter about Scream, and
I'm getting in there. I'm getting in
we'll
there.
be getting in there. And yeah, so we were gonna scrim today, but we had a team talk, so God bless, would have been
Unlucky.
a rough set of scrims. And yeah, back on topic, I do think it's actually a good change, and I think that I think it will be best for PBM, honestly. I think PBM has kind of like gone more to the facilitator route, and I don't think that's his playstyle at all. I think he'll go back to like the more aggressive, like in your face picks, unless Scream like forces them to like play a Kepri, like here and there, and be like, please ult me, sir, please 2 me, root this guy for me.
You think Scream's scared of dying? You said you saw the stats. He doesn't need that. He'll get there.
Honestly,
a few less with the Kepri ult, it might help the stats a little bit, but it's not a necessity.
A death for you is literally stat padding at this point.
Yeah, so. No, it is. I already got I got the earliest triple double in SPL history, probably.
So easy for you. But Scream, where do you rank in the GPM stats these days? Where are you there?
I think I'm still pretty high for as many deaths as I have.
This guy,
the Hold GPM king.
I could pull it up, but
I'm still sure number 1.
Please do.
Well, hunters are not fair, so. Well, okay, they were doing a comparison with me and Sam on the pre-show on the SPL, and Sam had like 504 GPM, and I had like 530, but I have like 40 more deaths than he does. So I'm not really sure how that happened.
You've also got to be leading the league in like time spent dead. You get the most time to like relax. It's a nice break.
I get to think about what I'm doing. And then I get to run out of base and do what I want to do, and then go straight back to the same. Repeat it. Just keep repeating.
Just rinse, repeat. Well, I mean, with that much time spent dead, you probably only need a few minutes in order to maybe heat yourself up a delicious factor meal. Scream. Have you ever thought about that? Because if you're gonna spend that much time dead anyways, you're not gonna have enough time to like cook and clean a full meal, because no one has time for all that. But like, you could easily get in there, get the kill, die, go pull your factor meal out of the fridge, okay? Then you're back in the seat, you're back in there, you dunk Gold Fury, you get a double kill, but of course, you're going to die for that. But that gives you time to go over and pop your factor meal into the microwave, and here's going to be the tough part, Scream, because you think surely a meal like this is going to take a long time in the microwave. It really isn't. So you're going to have to die quickly on that next respawn. Once you pop that bad boy in the microwave, maybe an upgraded TP in the cards in order to get back in there and make sure that you're back. Because it only takes a few minutes, just a few minutes for a delicious meal.
I can see where this is going.
Okay. Yeah, if you can also see where this is going, then I don't know how you couldn't, because this is as easy as it gets. Factor is the best way to get healthy, fresh, never frozen, prepared meals that are so delicious you wouldn't believe they're actually good for you. You get Factor's Calorie Smart and Keto options with built-in portion control. Those are great tools to help you get fit in time for the end of summer. You also can they offer 30 meals per week, so you can choose from a variety of new meals every single week. And all you got to do is head on over to factor75.com. Go.factor75.com. I'm really good at this, guys. In order to get your meals ordered. And you might be thinking, surely this is going to be stupid expensive. I mean, no way they're delivering fresh, never frozen, delicious meals that Barracuda once ate 4 of in one sitting because he was so hungry and couldn't help but eat them all.
Yep.
Well, I got good news for you, because we can help you save you some money. All you've got to do is go to go.factor75.com/backliners120 and use code backliners120 to get $120 and $20 off. That's code backliners120 at go.factor75.com/backliners120 for $120 off. And we've got a first-time chatter in the Twitch chat, Starin Crescent. Yeah, that's good.
I think it's Star and Crescent.
Oh my God,
Sorry, buddy.
Anyways, we got first-time chatter, Star and Crescent, whose name I just read for the first time, in the chat saying, they are very good. I used promo a few weeks ago, smile. They're smiling, chat. You can be smiling too, just like Star and Crescent. Head on over to go.factor75.com/backliners120 and use code backliners120 to get $120 off. Thanks to Factor and Mint Mobile for being our sponsors for this week's episode. Yeah, I think that overall, the fit makes a lot of sense. I think that it is last year, when we were talking about Layers joining the Titans, I said Layers is a carry style player that is joining a team full of carries. And I was worried that there would be too much. There's only so many resources to go around on a Smite map. And I was worried that Layers wouldn't be able to find his role among that team. And that he would have to switch to a more role player identity. He did not. He kept playing those carry style junglers. He kept farming like a carry style jungler. And it was really, really successful. I was definitely wrong on that worry. And I think that I could very much see you, Scream, doing something similar, where I'm like, all right, well, Pagon wants a lot of farm, and no one's sharing with Max a whole lot, and Fine's playing a lot of weird picks that, where's all this farm going to go? But I think that Layers has proven to me that isn't always a problem, and that good teams and good players will figure out a way around that. So I don't know if that was if that thought ever crossed your mind, that like, man, I gotta, like you said on the Scarabs, everything was about facilitating you, and it might be a little bit different now, but I don't know. Maybe it won't be. Do you think it will be different from how it was on the Scarabs?
I think that when you're trying to win, I think that people are going to do what they think's best to win. And if that causes arguments over who's getting farm and they don't really have a reason behind it, then that's kind of pointless. I think we'll be able to point out and get a formed opinion on what we should be doing in most spots, who should be getting the farm and who should be facilitating. Mm-hmm. I don't think it should be a big deal for, we have plenty of veterans on the team, bar Pagon, but I think it should be rather easy to explain our viewpoints to him if that ever does become a problem, but I don't think it will be.
Yeah, I think that, like Barra said, honeymoon period could be strong, and we say it every year because there's always a roster change around this time of year. This is
Maybe
a really good time. Maybe it is the heat. A lot of teams are losing AC in their like apartments and houses too, and that kind of stuff. That will drive you crazy. There is no doubt about that.
Mm-hmm.
Having to scream at 90-degree weather is terrible.
Is your AC finally fixed, Barry?
My AC guy just told me to stop turning it off and to just leave it on all the time. So that's what I did. My electric bill hasn't gone up, so
there you go.
I don't know what happened, but it's still hot as balls up here. It is actually it's only like 78, but it feels like that's 85 for some reason.
Oh my
it's
God.
pretty humid in here.
Pretty hot.
That is too hot.
Yeah. I'm like sweating on my back. I had to like move up off my chair because my back is just like wet. I'm doing great, guys. But yeah, I don't think it'll be a problem either for Scream or for that team, because I feel like Pagon will probably do whatever Scream wants him to, and I feel like PBM is probably the same way of Scream just kind of directing their 3v3 and what he wants to do on the map and how he wants to play. I feel like there won't really be an issue, because I feel like, I'm talking like Scream isn't here, but I feel like Scream will just come in and be like, not like a dictator, but like, hey guys, we're doing this. This is how I want to play. And the honeymoon period will be insane.
Yeah, this is typically where teams make changes and then go on to win worlds. The Leviathans did it last year. They picked up Zap around this time. Season 4, you guys did it, Scream, picking up Venenu right around this time. There is at least one more example that I cannot think of. Oh, Splice, Season 5.
With Moswell, right?
Yep, picked up Moswell right around this time. So this is, Barra, the evidence is kind of there. I know that you're using Mint Mobile, but maybe you should make sure everyone on the team is, because this is kind of the time to do stuff,
Yeah, maybe we should have kicked somebody.
Name who you'd want to kick in order. Go. Anyways. Yeah, this is gonna be a fun week. Scream, how do you feel about getting to play the Scarabs right away? You guys play them Saturday morning now.
We do have a triple header this week, so that'll be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Fun.
I don't know. I mean, I'm excited to play. Obviously, depending on the outcome of the weekend, either people are gonna get a lot of shit, or people are gonna think we're the greatest team to ever exist. It's gonna be one way or the other. I feel like.
Right.
So you can't really fix that. So I just hope we come out and we perform well. And
Who do you guys play?
I think we play the Warriors, the
Mhm.
Titans, and the Scarabs. I think.
Correct.
I
Yeah.
believe that's
Warriors Friday, Scarabs Saturday, Titans Sunday.
Oh, a lot of different play styles to prep for, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll show up and we'll do what we do, and if it works, it works.
Yeah, if it works, it works is a pretty good way to say it, I think. We should talk a little bit about last week. Oh, we did not end up finishing all of mid-season patch notes. We went over it for 2 episodes. This is obviously pressing news, and by the time we get to I don't want to get to patch notes. There's going to be a new patch note show coming up not that long from now, so we'll nail down how to do our timings on patch notes. We know you guys liked the slower, more in-depth breakdown, but especially for non-midseason patches, there's going to be a lot less things to chew through. So I think we're going to nail down our timing, but I don't think it makes a whole lot of sense for us to go back to midseason patch notes. I do want to talk about last week in the SPL a little bit, because the Valks get their first set win of the phase. They beat the Oni Warriors 2-1, and the Oni Warriors, who have looked very, very good this year, certainly have impressed. Bear and I have talked a bunch about how impressed we have been with that team, especially considering our concerns with them heading into the year. But all of a sudden, they are now at 6-6, though there is, in fairness to them, a bit of a traffic jam. Like Titans 7-5, Leviathan's also 6-6, Warriors 6-6, Jade Dragons 5-6. Were you guys surprised to see the Warriors drop that set to the Valkyries? Scream, you can go first.
I mean, yeah. I think the Warriors were like third seed or something coming into the week. A lot of teams thought they were pretty good, and people kind of thought the Valks were like they're a fine team, but people didn't really expect them to win, in my opinion. And I think they showed up and they played some good Smite this weekend. I mean, even versus the Titans, I thought they looked pretty good, for most of the games. So
yeah,
it was just an impressive week by them.
Pretty sure that game 1 against Titans was 100% in the bag too, right? They just shocked one of the fights.
Saw it stole their first Fire Giant that they went for, and then they got Fire Giant again, and then they ran it down into Paul Hell, who one-shot both their carries. So
I mean, that's just unlucky. Sometimes that just happens.
Yeah.
That will be happening a little bit here. Yeah, that is late game Hell.
Okay.
Do be one-shot.
I feel like Paul's Hell does more damage than any other Hell in the game, and I don't know why.
Yeah, certain players will do that, where they make their gods feel like they just do more damage. Paul, I mean, you said it. Paul was building Mantle Raijin and still one-shotting people.
Yeah, I feel like that guy knows something about the code of Smite that I don't know.
You think he's
cheating?
He does know how to make games. He knows how to. He's made games before.
True. Yeah, I was really impressed with how Valks played this weekend, and I was really not impressed with how Warriors bounced back the next day after they played against Valks and played against us. Because that wasn't a fun set. I thought it was going to be way easier. I mean, we scuffed a bit of our drafts, but yeah. We didn't have a great weekend. I don't think we were really there, unfortunately, this weekend. But ending the weekend 1-1 with how poorly we played, in my opinion, is really good. Yeah, Valks are definitely the biggest story, in my opinion, this weekend outside of the roster change. And I think they're playing insanely well, which is really good timing going into LAN.
Yeah, it is definitely good timing. I mean, it's got to happen now. Not a whole lot of time left. Look, I get it. They could not do well at Masters and still bounce back during Phase 3 or whatever, but just do not feel like that is the recipe for success necessarily for that team. I mean, Scream, you and the Bugs didn't qualify for spring Masters, and that is not I can't imagine that after, even if they are playing really good Smite right now, if they get overconfident or just have a bad weekend and end up not qualifying for the Summer Masters, that is not a good way to kick off your unbelievable Phase 3 streak to the World Championship.
Yeah, it definitely would be a momentum killer. Ideally, you have a set versus a team that is pretty good, and you get like just a decent set in, and you can build off of it. But if you go into a set and you get absolutely destroyed, it's kind of like you don't really learn a whole lot because you just got stomped, and then it's just a bad start, kind of.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it will be pretty important, I think, for the Valks to do pretty well there. I mean, I think the Kings after this weekend, if you would have asked me who the best team in the league was, I would have said the Kings anyways, but especially after this weekend, seem to have solidified themselves in that first place. I mean, these Phase 2 standings, though, are not pretty for a lot of these teams. Certainly the Jade Dragons, they're in the middle of a roster change because of how they've been playing. The Atlantis Leviathans at 6-6. The Warriors were a nice story, and now with back-to-back losses, they're sitting back at 6-6. It's really the Kings, and Barra, like you said, it with this weekend, it almost like I watched a little bit of your games this weekend. I was like, man, that was not as well as the Bolts have been playing. And it's almost kind of easy to forget that you guys came into that weekend like 8-2.
Yep.
Which is what the Kings were.
Yeah, we haven't had like external issues, but our scrims have been kind of scuffed lately. I think we've had 4 scrims total in the last 2 weeks. So I think a bit of ranked habits are leaning into SPL habits. You gotta stop that before it gets too frisky. And our drafting was also, in my opinion, really poor going into this weekend. I don't think I was really confident with any one of our drafts going into this weekend. I feel like we were just kind of like picking what we wanted to play instead of like a solidified draft together, which obviously is what you want to do. So yeah, like I said, I'm surprised we came out with a win in this weekend with how poorly we played.
But hey, 9-3 could be a lot worse. Sitting second place and looking really good. 2 things that I do want to cover quickly before we wrap up the show. Chat asking about your jumpsuit, Barra, and what the Bolts were wearing. Give me the breakdown of how that came to be.
You want like a short breakdown, or you want?
Yeah, I think the shorter one for getting everything.
So it's my anniversary. We had done a post not like Scrim talk, but we just like hung out for a little bit, and then I left because me and Destiny wanted to get some boba. And then, so I'm driving to get boba, and then I get a call from Venenu, and I'm like, what's this for? Like, this guy never calls me, what's he doing? And so he says, you gotta get this tracksuit. We saw how good SK looked, and we want to get tracksuits. And he sent me the tracksuit, and it was a $300 Adidas tracksuit, and I'm like, there's no way I'm spending $300 on a yellow tracksuit. I would look like
notorious cheapskate when it comes to spending his money.
Thank you.
Notorious.
I feel like any 30-year-old is not going to want to spend $300 on a tracksuit. Thank you.
No, sir.
For backing me up. Appreciate that.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, so I was like, there's no way I'm going to look like a knockoff Russian hitman. I just don't want to do it. I will look like an idiot, or like a knockoff like Kill Bill model, Like I was me and Destiny were making fun of it the whole time.
Right.
And so I was like, there's no way I'm doing it. End of story. And then so I get home, and I guess I'm giving you the whole spiel, actually.
That's fine.
So I get home, and Vin sends me a $60 tracksuit, and I'm like, I can do that. It's like
more your speed.
Shoes, pants, and like the jacket, all for $60. That's like $20 a pop on each.
It's not
pretty
bad.
Good. And then, so I was like, that's cool. We'll go matching. We'll all look stupid, and it'll be great. And then the next day, he sends me this fanny pack for $10 from Amazon. I'm like, okay. I didn't even question it. I just bought it. Like, I'm like, what am I going to do with a fanny pack, bro?
You're going to
I'm
wear it.
$10
and you're going to have extra pockets, so your hands are free. It's going to be very convenient.
So I was like, I'm going to look like an idiot rolling up the studios, but at least, like, all the boys look like idiots, too. And part of me, when I was driving to the studios, I'm like, there's no way these guys actually bought the tracksuits. I'm going to show up in a yellow tracksuit, and these guys are going to be
You didn't bring a backup?
Okay, I almost brought like normal shorts, but I was like, they wouldn't do that to me. But on the way there, I'm like, they might have done that to me, and I'm gonna look like an idiot.
That would have been so funny, dude.
That would have been
funny.
Oh
my god, that would have been so good.
It ended up looking better than I thought it did.
Okay.
Surprisingly, because the shoes kind of fix it. If you
Yeah.
don't wear the shoes, it looks terrible.
Uh-huh.
But the yellow or gold, whatever, shoes kind of bring it all together. Also, I said I wanted blue tracksuits because I think blue and like accent gold or accent yellow would have looked better. But the yellow kind of looks pretty good in my opinion. So yeah, that's the whole.
There you go, dude. That would have been so funny if they were like, "Yeah, man, we're all wearing this. Wear it. It's gonna be really funny." And then they show up and they're like, "Dude, what are you wearing?" Like, they're just in normal shorts and that kind of stuff. That would have been so funny, man.
That would have been good.
I would have turned around, bro. I would have just driven home. I'm not playing this, dude.
Scream, surely no one on the team listens to this podcast. You got to do that to the team. You got to be like, hey, you know, the Bolts were
They
doing
live
it.
with each other. They live with each other.
True.
You could maybe do it to Mike. You could maybe do it to Mike.
Yeah, true. That's what you got to do. That would be really funny.
Maybe that could be big.
That could be really big. Other thing, real quick, bonus balance going live tomorrow with some pretty hefty warrior jungle nerfs to itemization and particular gods. You two are really like all of the balance changes affect you two specifically because Scream, you get a nerf on Stone-Cutting Sword, on Golden Blade, on Bumba's Hammer, on Osiris, and on Erlong Shen. Barra, you get just a Chernabog nerf. But how much do you think this is going to switch up the jungle SPL meta, Scream?
Jungle's dead now, so if we could
Here
buff
we
Jungle,
go.
that'd be good.
Yeah, here we go.
I think the Bumba's nerf was kind of overkill, personally. But I think the other nerfs are fine. Yeah, I mean, Bumba's is like I thought it was probably above average in the current state, but then this nerf kind of just knocks it down really hard. Like I think it's literally terrible. But the other nerfs, I think they're good. I think they're good nerfs. The Osiris nerf has been a long time coming. Making the enemies deal 35% less damage just by being next to them is kind of lame, and they can't do anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
And it stuns you.
Yeah, after 4 seconds. Yep.
Yeah, 4 seconds of that, by the way.
Yeah. So I think 20% is way more fair. I expect stone cutting to maybe still get bought on some characters. Like, you know, the stone cutting XE build, people love it. So it might still be bought. I'm not sure though. But you know, maybe the warriors will not dominate the game like they have been for a while now. So
fingers crossed. We're looking for assassins, hopefully in the jungle, but we will see. Also, it is worth noting that the XE passive stacking should be fixed. So you know, we might see more executioners and that kind of stuff running around the SPL with that rule being lifted. Barry Chernabog gets his ultimate nerfed in a couple different ways. The Barabog might have to go in the back pocket for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think you'll still pick it when it's good. I'm not sure if it'll be like top pick, top ban. But I mean, we've seen people counter it with Cupid and like jamming duo and doing those kind of styles. So I don't know. Chernabog's kind of in like the limbo, in my opinion, in the SPL meta of like, can we counter it? Do we have to ban it? Like, you know, all of this discussions of like what you want to do. But I'm just hoping for like no longer Osiris Erlong every game in the jungle because it just makes it a bit stale in my opinion. Like, I mean, obviously I'm not a jungler, so I don't play those gods every single game. But I just think it's a bit stale. Obviously, I think those gods are easier to play into as a backliner than assassins who literally one-shot you. So in that degree, it's fun, but yeah.
Time to start getting one-shot, Barry. That's all. You know.
Yeah, I remember it was like a year or two ago, and I remember playing against Lass on Susano, and he literally one-shot me in the Shablanca dash. Like, he two-tapped me. I think that was when, like, the OP Heartseeker... It was like trans Heartseeker Hydras was meta, and you would just one-shot every backliner. So hopefully we don't get to that stage, but like a stage in the middle, you know, somewhere in there.
Or maybe that stage, you know?
Hopefully not. Hopefully not.
We'll see.
No, that's not.
We'll see what happens. All right, that's our show for the week. Of course, we do have our random question of the week. I did get a message from somebody about it. Did we get finished with the old list? I think we are finished with our old list. I'm just saying we are. So there we go. Now it is.
Oh, there's like one more.
We're finished because I'm not looking at it. We've got Ambies Void DM'd me some tweets here, or some random questions of the week. So thank you, Ambies. Here's my favorite one that I just picked off the bottom because there are 10, and this is number 10. Pen, pencil, or mechanical pencil? Which is your favorite writing utensil?
Oh, good question.
This is a good question.
Is it overall, I assume?
Yeah.
Surely.
I think it's got to be overall. But
Surely it's mechanical pencil.
Mechanical pencil is really OP.
It can't be the normal pencil. It just can't be.
Yeah, but when the mechanical pencil like breaks, you're in a tough spot.
Yeah, but like, if you like sat down to write something and they gave you 3 options, surely you're going the mechanical pencil.
Would I go the mechanical pencil? See, I'm biased because I'm left-handed, and so
I'm also left-handed.
And you get the smear, right, Scream? Like you're smearing the graphite as you're writing. You know, you end up with all of it on the side of your hand. I feel like mechanical pencil smears worse than a regular pencil does.
I'm just not a pen guy, though. My penmanship has always been not the best, I'll be honest.
Yep. Well, it's because we're left-handed. The world's against us. Like, if they teach you how to write letters in the way that right-handed people write.
Oh, that's true.
So that's why all left-handed people have messy handwriting. And that's just an excuse that I made up on the spot.
Well, that makes sense. Also, left-handed people are generally smarter.
That's true.
They have higher IQ on average.
You're so dumb, Barra. You right-handed idiot.
How much IQ?
I have no idea. I just know it's a thing.
Yeah, okay.
You couldn't count that high, right-hander. Yeah,
Most presidents are left-handed, or there's a lot of them who are left-handed.
Interesting.
Disproportionate
amount, probably. Isn't Barack Obama left-handed?
Like I think so. Something like that.
I think so, too. Shout out Barack. Yeah, I think I'm going pen here, fellas. This is going to be an unpopular opinion, I think, because... Yes, would I like an eraser? Would I like the opportunity to do something over? Yeah, I would like that. But it's just going to force me to be the best version of myself. You know what I mean? I'm giving myself no wiggle room. I'm going in and I've got to execute right away. But a nice pen just feels the best. I forget exactly what brand. My wife, who's a teacher, you know, she knows every pen brand and which ones are good and which ones aren't and all that kind of stuff. But you know when you're like at a restaurant and you sign the check and you're like, oh, this is a nice pen. And then you're like, I kind of want to take it. But then you're like, they probably lose all their pens when they're nice. So then you don't take it. What? But you're like, man, I want to remember this pen brand so that I can buy pens like that. But you never do. And then the next time you're there, you're like, I'm not going to remember this. Maybe I should just take the pen. And this whole thing just continues over and over and over again. I do not take the pen, for the record. No. Actually, there is one time I took the pen. My waiter was really rude, and I did take his pen. Yeah, I took his pen. I'll admit it.
I feel like you just admitted to a lot of things on the podcast.
What do you mean? I think that's a completely normal train of thought.
I feel like, you know, just admitting to, like, you're a kleptomaniac, you know, that's kind of a...
It's just a nice pen. I mean,
deal, you know?
if you don't have a pen in your car and you're like, this would fit in my car nicely whenever I need a pen. You just take it and you leave it in your car.
Yeah. Leave it in the car, put it on your desk, you know. I do have one nice pen here. This is a Papermate. This is a nice one. Papermate Flare Medium. We're not sponsored by them. Papermate, sponsor us, I guess. This pen, on the other hand, what pen is this? This one sucks. I don't know why I'm using this one. It's a Bic pen. Yeah, this Bic pen is not good. But it's just like one of these like little thin guys, the clear ones. These aren't good. Papermate Flare, though, top tier.
I think it has... I've thought a lot about this. I feel like I've thought more about this than like any other question. I feel like it's mechanical pencil.
Really?
It's because you don't use a pen too often, in my opinion, unless it's like something official. Like you're not going to a pen for everything you're writing. Right. Unless it's like signatures, obviously. Like I said, something official. And I agree with Scream. It cannot be the normal pencil. And by process of elimination, it's the mechanical pencil.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Like, extending your mechanical pencil, like pushing it all out and then like, you know, shoving it back in, like a little graphite, like that's a good, like, I'm not paying attention in class, time waster. You know, pulling off the eraser, dumping out all the graphite, and then like putting it back in, another good time waster. And then of course shaking the mechanical, like the mechanical pencil like refill container, a great sound. All of those things it does have going for it. But I do think you lose something in the satisfaction of sharpening a real pencil. Like, I think we're missing out on that a little bit.
No, surely not.
Like, a
Also,
sharp
think about
pencil
this.
is nice.
If you're in school and you're like, oh, can I borrow a pencil? And they're like, yeah, and they give you a mechanical pencil, you're thinking about taking it. That's all there
Yeah.
is to that. But if they give you a normal pencil, you're
giving it
like,
back.
yeah, they'll be like, you write what you need and then you're done with it, you know?
Yeah. I don't know about you guys, but I had a really bad habit, and still have a very bad habit, of I'll like chew on my pencil a little bit, like not like literally munching on it, like I'm not taking bites out of it, but like I'll like put the pen in my mouth, or like put the pencil in my mouth while I'm thinking, or like using my hands. And so anytime anyone asked me to borrow a pencil, I'd be like, oh no, that thing has definitely been in my mouth. That's like really gross. But then you don't want to say that to them, right? That's even more embarrassing. So then you just give them the pencil, and then you hope that they never notice the rest of the year that you are definitely putting the pencils in their mouth, your own pencils in your mouth, and then think to themselves, I wonder if he did that to the pencil that he gave me a while ago. You know, that's another really normal thought that I shouldn't bring up with my therapist this week.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever thought about that.
Yeah, I don't think.
Nice.
Surely it just doesn't matter to the other person, kind of, right?
I
Yeah,
definitely
like,
wouldn't want to see someone have their pencil in their mouth and then hand it to me. Like, I don't want that.
Yeah, for sure. But like, it's not like if they see you chewing on a pencil later in the year, they're never like, oh my god, did that guy really give me a pencil that was in his mouth? What the heck? You know, I just don't think that's a thing.
I feel like I wouldn't even be like bothered by it, even if it was the pencil they put in their mouth. As long as it's not like wet when I grab it, it's fine to use as like a pencil, right? Like,
I mean, yeah. Some people would say no to that, but yeah.
I don't
I'm not
think I
German
want the
guys,
pencil
but-
out of their mouth, even if it's dry.
well,
Because
like,
then I'm
not
like, what's going
not
on
like
in there?
directly like yanking it out and like drying it off, and oh yeah, I'm gonna use this. Like, there's got to be some distance, like, you know, some time has passed
Yeah.
before I'm using the pencil. But yeah, I wouldn't mind, especially in like middle school, high school, like whatever, germs are passed around there like on a daily basis. So
It's true. Absolute cesspools of germs are
Disgusting.
schools. One of a great chatter whose name I can't repeat on the podcast, good friend Water here, does bring up a good point, which is clicking the pen down and then letting it like go into the air when it like unclicks itself. You know what I mean? Like doing the push down and then the sort of
Really?
thing. That's
you really
fun.
do that with a mechanical
I
pencil.
didn't do that.
It does
click
not
it.
bounce off it won't bounce off your desk though.
I never got that bored in class to do something like that.
Really?
Wait, you can
were
bounce
like
it off the
focusing
desk
on
and
what
do
your
erase
teacher was saying?
I mean, maybe not that, but like I'm a pretty imaginative. I imagine a lot, right? So I can like, I could ignore the teacher and stuff like that, you know.
Right.
I
Leah's
also listen
saying
to music a lot. I listen to music a lot as well.
like in your class?
Yeah, sometimes the teachers will get upset about it, but I mean, if I finish my work and I listen to music, they don't care most of the time.
Oh, yeah, that's fair, I suppose. Leah's saying, what if you just bring your own pencils to class? Leah, obviously that's not happening, number one. And number two, even if I start bringing my own pencil to class, I'm going to end up forgetting it.
Yep.
So, you know. And by the way, that does mean that I borrowed a lot of pencils that I did then subsequently chew on a little bit. And I did think, I wonder if the person who I got this pencil from did the same thing, and now I am biting the same thing they were biting, and that did not bother me. I decided that wasn't a huge deal.
So you're telling me you borrowed a pencil and then chewed on it?
Yeah, 100%.
You're a disgusting human.
I don't do it intentionally, man. I can't help it. I literally, as soon as I stop thinking actively, like, that's just what I do. I take my sunglasses off. Like, I can only do it with my, like, actual glasses. But, like, all the time, if I want my sunglasses off, but I'm not wearing, like, a hat that they can rest on easily, I just, like, stick the end in my mouth and, like, walk around with it in my mouth so that I can so I know where they are. And then I can just take them out and put them back on whenever I need them. That's what I do.
Why wouldn't you just put them on your shirt?
They always fall off whenever they're on your shirt. That's not working for me.
Your mouth is a third hand?
Yeah, all the time. You don't use your mouth to like open packages and that kind of stuff that you can't rip open?
No, I don't do that.
Fellas, that is the tech. What are you talking about? You've got to be...
We've got sharp things. We've got scissors.
You're gonna walk all the way downstairs to get some scissors? You know, are you kidding me?
The package is like 5 feet from where my scissors
Nah,
are.
just
You know, like
bite it open.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's not like you take your package to the room. You open it when you bring it inside. Like you put it on a table and you open it right then and there. You know.
Yeah. I don't
so you
know.
can throw away the box.
I think
also,
you guys are
packages
missing out.
pretty easy to open unless it's like the hardcore duct tape stuff. Like you can
No,
just pop
I'm
it
talking
open.
like, you know, you're trying to open like a bag of like cereal, and it's not like it's, you know, sometimes they get stuck, they won't open. You just gotta give a little bite and rip, and you're good to go.
I hate doing that. I will never put my mouth on like a foreign object that I don't know where it's been.
I will say that COVID did entirely break that habit on packaging for me. I have not bitten open a single piece of like anything since COVID, but my own sunglasses in my mouth constantly. That's just the way
your mouth
is.
just starts salivating every time you see a
I mean, it sounds pretty good to me right now. I don't know. Did you guys chew a lot of gum? I chewed a lot of gum because, again, I need to like have something in my mouth.
No, I wouldn't say so.
No, you're not a gum guy?
I wasn't like, I know it like can help people focus sometimes, but I don't really have that issue.
Yeah, I wasn't Shinto level. I couldn't.
Yeah, I was gonna say
dude,
Shinto.
my man
kinda,
is munching on the gum.
Yeah, no, you can tell when he's chewing gum. That's the thing.
He's
some people are kind of like some people are like, what's the word? Not discreet about it, kind of in a way. But you know when Shinto's chewing gum.
Yep, he's getting in there. There's no doubt about that, and I respect that. Barra, were you not a gum guy in high school?
Oh.
I was the guy that everyone knew I had gum, and that was a huge problem because then I got asked for gum all the time.
Yeah, you had to hide gum the entire time. I was a gum guy on test days, 100%, or a peppermint guy. I'd always make sure I would like bring one of those. But I was never the guy supplying gum because that's a good way to lose all of your gum in one class.
Yeah, I was basically a gum dealer. I started carrying a pack of gum that I didn't like that I would give out to, like, if someone asked me for gum, I would give them a piece of gum out of like a crappy pack of gum, and then I would have my own pack.
So then they would just stop asking you because like no one wants that gum anyway.
You would think, but these greedy idiots just want anyone else's gum. It's unbelievable. It's absolutely crazy. All right, we should close this podcast before I say any more weird things that apparently no one else is feeling. By the way, someone did ask me. I am not a smoker, an old smoker. I've never had a cigarette in my life. I've just always like chewed on stuff. That's just
that's good.
That's just how it is. Yeah, that is good because I don't want to do that. Anyways, thanks everyone for listening. Shout out Mint Mobile again, mintmobile.com/backliners to get premium wireless service for just $15 a month, and Factor meals. go.factor.com/backliners120 to get $120 off your Factor order. Amazing, fresh, never frozen meals that are really quick and really easy and really good for you. So definitely check them out. Scream, thanks so much for coming on the podcast. Good luck with the new squad. I'm excited to see you guys in all 3 of your games this weekend, and we'll be back next week for the final episode of Phase 2 and get prepped for the Smite Masters, which should be a good time. It's going to be good. So everyone, check out Prediction, all their great shows, all that kind of good stuff. Barra, you know what to do. That wasn't bad. That wasn't bad. Your mic cut out a little bit, but I could tell it was good. So I don't know if the podcast is going to be able to tell. But
my throat's a little sore. I think it's just like allergies, like something's in the air.
You're getting sick again?
Bro.
Scream, rubbing his hands together. It's time. Barra's getting sick again.
I don't play him for a while. I don't know how Masters works either, so I literally have no idea.
Yeah, that's going to be a whole spiel again, I do believe.